Hey everyone, it's Jason. Now instead of going through something I'm going through with the short-term rental I have right now, let's go through one I'm actually looking at. So I was brought some cabins in New Hampshire by a friend of mine. 4 cabins on one lot. So these 4 cabins are a little different for me. They're not near a huge major destination that I talk about normally, such as Orange Beach that has this pristine beach that everybody goes to, such as Gatlinburg that has the largest draw for any national park when it comes to the amount of numbers that come through at a given time. This is more rural, but it does have draws to it. So let's look at some pros of this place. 1, it's 4 cabins on one lot, so I only have to buy 1 plot of land to get 4 new short-term rentals. 2, it's near a major ski mountain in New Hampshire, so that way we do have skiers coming through. There also is a racetrack in the area, so there is some draw from the racetrack that'll come through too. So those are big things that can draw people in to these cabins. Now let's talk financials and things like that. One of the things you really want to look at, of course, is competition. There is not a ton of cabins in this market. There is some. Well, these cabins aren't updated. They're not to a level that we always talk about where I want to make a wow. They're a cool, I'm in a nice area, it's a cabin. There's only a few wows that you're dealing with there. So it's easier to get yourself in the top 10% if you can make yourself a wow. Income potential. So these are all 1-bedroom cabins. Looking at 1-bedroom cabins in the area, the income potential per cabin, when it's by itself or it's a condo cabin type thing, it's $18,000 to $20,000 per cabin. So if we extrapolate that out, we get about $80,000 in gross revenue that can come in from these cabins if we're average. Now the high-end ones are earning $30,000. Yeah, we might be able to get there someday, but the problem with the high-end ones is this: they're by themselves on a lot, and I have 4 on a lot. So I don't think I'll ever be the top of the market because I got people so close to each other. So sounds great, right? You're like, hey Jason, why haven't you offered on this and just get this under contract and get going? Oh, there's some issues with this one. So this would be what's called a burster. We're gonna buy it, we're gonna renovate it, and we're gonna refinance it, and then the rented out comes after with their Airbnb, short-term rentals, Verbo, you know, all that kind of stuff that I love so much. In order to get these up and running so I can sell them off in the future, I need to work on a few things. The first of all, there's 4 cesspools there. So New Hampshire's no Title V test, so not that bad, right? But the loan office is gonna want a working septic there. So look, now I have to go get a septic put in. So yeah, septic, I do this all the time down here with the flips and things like that, but up there it's different. The prices are different. Plus I'm doing to 4 different cabins. So what's that look like? I've been calling septic guys for the last 2 weeks trying to get a quote on what the septic would cost. I can't get a call back. So that gives me another kind of, oh, this is kind of weird, because how easy is it going to be to get someone to put in a septic if I can't even get someone to call me back? Which means the process of putting in is probably going to be a lot longer than it would be down here where I can give a call to my septic guy and he'll call me back that day. So the other big thing is financing. So these are commercial level cabins. There's 4 on the lot, so we have to get a commercial loan. But look, we can't get a commercial loan right now because the fact that there's a cesspool or 4 cesspools there. So we have to get hard money or get a renovation loan and then move it into the commercial loan. A commercial loan works off of debt service coverage ratio. So we got to make sure that these will generate enough income in order to overcome the debt service coverage ratio so we can get the commercial loan on this property. That's easier on long terms because on long-term rentals you have a lease sitting there showing you what's there. On short-term rentals, they're gonna have to extrapolate the data based on past rentals in the area to figure out what my DSCR is. That is kind of variable, so it's up to their interpretation, which is going to make it hard for me to go, okay, this will ARV at, because it's going to be based on those factors that are outside my control. So I can't say I will definitely get all my money back out of this. Could leave 20 in it, I could leave 30, I could leave 70. I'm unsure at this point, which is making me a little hesitant to buy because I don't know what my cash and cash return is going to be on this venture. Finally, probably the least bit of issue, there is a seasonal unit. So 3 of the cabins are year-round, but there's 1 that's seasonal, which means we have to do some plumbing, we have to set heating in place so that way it can be year-round. Now this isn't a big deal because we're going to put probably $7K into it to redo the plumbing, maybe put a heat pump in it or something like that so we're no longer seasonal. But it is something that you want to keep an eye on because that's another complication. So they're adding up at this point, right? So we got 3 or 4 complications in this one. I'm wondering, is it going to be worth it when the money shakes out? So let's put this all together. There's going to be a lot of work put into this one to make it work, but at the end of the day, it should be a 20% plus cash and cash return in the first couple of years. and then elevate after that once we bring the cabins up to the wow factor we want to bring up to. I hope this helped you talk about some of the things I think about when looking at short-term rentals that you're going to try to BRRRR or the Burster method. Because yeah, you can get great cash and cash return on these things sometimes, because this one could be anywhere up to 50% cash and cash return. But there are a lot of hoops and a lot of variables when you're doing this method that you don't have when you're actually just buying straight out something that is already furnished, done, running as an Airbnb. So you need to weigh those options. How risk adverse are you? This is a risky investment if I go forward with this one. So if I decide to buy this and go forward with it, don't worry, you'll see a bunch of videos about it, the hoops I'm jumping through, the complications I ended up with. If I don't, you'll see a video about something else. See y'all later.